Alright, good morning ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back along to another episode of A Dairyman's Diary. I am Frank, your humble host as always. And today we are picking up something nice and shiny. Look at this. We've taken the stuff to pick up a diet feeder for our cattle. This is a coon night feeder, and it's not the biggest in the world. It's not the most advanced, but it's pretty damn good for what we need. We have got an electronic scale on the front here, so we can kind of see how that all the weight that we're putting in. Inside it has got some frankly menacing looking blades, so we can really mix up everything that we need in there, which is good news. And it's gonna help us along a little bit. And now for most of the winter months, I can see this being hooked up to the 7740. But for today we're going to take it back to the yard in the John Deere. Now what I am a little concerned about is they might just lift this up a little too high, which I think it has done actually. Yes, it's not ideal. However, what we can do, we'll take this back to the yard now, and we've got a bit of a busy day ahead of us actually. Got a lot to do here today, not necessarily with the feeder at all, but we've got to get this back to the yard anyway. It's another beautiful day here on Meadow Grove. Now what we've got to do, Terry is kind of getting himself ready to go out and do a little more, the last of some fertilizer spreading on, putting some nitrogen onto the silage ground. So that should all pretty much be good to roll. And then we're going to go and drill some grass seeds actually in a small field that I was thinking of putting cereal crop into, but it's quite a small little field. It's on a heck of an incline, so we'll probably just put it into another grass pasture, to be honest, there, and get it done with. It's a bit late in the day to be planting too much spring crop, so we'll do that instead, I think, and that'll give us a good kind of well, it's not the biggest field either. It's only probably about 7-8 acres, but it'll give us a little bit more to work with. Good lord, I think they are all weeds in there, haven't? So that should be the plan. It should mean that we keep ourselves well above board with the grassland as well. I've been spending a lot of time trying to focus on how much additional grassland we can acquire, so I think we should be good. But yeah, watch the space really. Elsewhere though, everything else is coming along nicely. We've got a few contract jobs coming up in the probably in the next few days, so I'm anxious that Terry gets everything done he needs to do today. It shouldn't take more than today, to be honest. We should be good to go, and then we'll be away. We've got most of the muck cleaned out there, as you can see. There's a little bit I've created because I've just kind of tied everything up properly. There's probably a few more loads that we'll take down just with the on the fork, I would imagine, at some point. Other than that, everything else is looking tremendous. And yeah, we're really getting on now. We've made a lot of good progress over these last few days. Now, I'm not going to leave this outside just yet. I'm going to stick this into here, I think. I don't like leaving brand new shiny equipment parked outside. So where possible, we'll always stick it into a shed. There it went wrong. So yeah, like I said, it's not the biggest feeder in the world, but yeah, for what we need here at the moment, it's probably going to be okay to help us out. I've seen there's a great new looking Keenan diet feeder being made, coming onto the market soon, but I feel like that's going to be expensive for what we need, so we'll have to see. Okay, and then the John Deere, we'll just stick it on the corner. He needs a wash again actually. Does need a wash. We had it out doing, well, I was on the muck cart with it yesterday, and that's kind of got a little bit sticky in some places. Probably left my lights on. Yes, I have. So we'll need to get around onto that in a minute or two. But yeah, everything else is good. Let's make sure I got all my gates shut over here. Alright, so everything is shut up there, nice and easily. We're going to head ourselves around. We've got another little job to go and do today, which shouldn't take us too long to do. Sounds like Terry is away. There he goes. He is heading off down to the south, down to some of our sheep fields. Well, I call them sheep fields. Some of the grassland down by the sheep yard. There's probably about 40 acres down there that we need to cover, because that's going to be kind of late first cut silage, so we need to make sure that's got enough, had enough treatment on it. primarily not for the first cut silage because it is quite tall there, but we're putting it on now just so it gives it a bit of a kick when the when it's cut, so the second cut silage can really jump on. So that's where he's away to. He'll spend most of his day doing that. And we have, well, we've put the big shoes onto the 77, and I think you'll agree with me, it looks fantastic with the jewels on. These are flotation tyres, and the reason we put this on is twofold really. First of all, we're going out there to drill some grass seed today, so we want to put as little impact onto and compaction onto the field as possible. We're going to be doing a little bit of fertilizer spread on some of the new ground that we've recently sowed, the spring ground as well. So we'll use this for that job as well there, I should imagine. And thirdly, we put the flotations on when we've got slurry work coming up as well. We're going to have a little bit of that coming soon. We are expecting a new tank to arrive fairly imminently, so when that does arrive, we're going to be going out there with 2 tankers. So that's why we put this setup here onto the Ford, because this does a lot of the slurry work as well. So it's nice in terms of a compaction to have as little on there as possible. So, but this is going to be our machine for the day, and we're going to get ourselves out here and yeah, see what we're going to do. Just got a few things to tidy up first, but then we'll get ourselves going. Let's get this started up for now. Excellent stuff. Now, I did fill this full of seed earlier. This is what is this, 8 meters, the Einbach. It's a grass harrow tine drill. Now we use this for establishing grass seeds for the most part. We use it to harrow out any dead grass as well on any of the permanent pastures. Now what we'll do with that is just run it over here. It pulls out any of the dead grass stalks, so it allows the good new shoots to come through. But today, yeah, we're just going to go and drill in some grass seed here. Shouldn't take us too long to do at all. It's just another job to get done now, and then we can kind of forget about it once it's done. Just let the grass come through. We'll be laughing, really. Nothing coming here. I'm going to shut this gate as well. Getting into the habit now when myself and Terry are away from the yard, we're just going to keep everything shut. To be honest. There we go. Yeah, so a lot of people drive past this yard and like to have a look inside, so we like to try and limit them from doing that as much as possible. Okay. Now we're just going down here on the left. It's really not too far away at all. But the gateway for the field is at an annoying angle and the wrong way to where I was coming, so kind of stuck there a little bit, but what can you do? And we're just going to this field on the left here actually, so you can see it's not a very big field. It's a pain of a field. I think whenever we make anything off this, it'll have to be square bales so it doesn't run down the valley. But yeah, it's been worked over here. Now we just need to kind of drill it in with something. It's probably going to stay grassland with us for quite a few years to come, really, I think. So we did have this into oats last year. It did okay. Nothing outstanding, but it was okay. Once again, the big eye in the sky is watching us. Okay, and let's get this in. Look how majestic this looks. This tractor is one of my favourites. I've had this around here, as you guys know, for quite some time, and it is just an absolute joy to drive. It handles everything we throw at it with ease. It really, really does. We don't stress it out a lot, but it just does a little bit of grass work. It's on the feeder for most of the winter, and then on a slurry tanker as well, and it just looks glorious, frankly. Look at those tyres. Those tyres are expensive. We probably won't be buying another pair of those for a long time, let me tell you. But while we have them, they're an absolute treat. Now let's see if I can get this unfolded properly. There we go.
Anyway, so this is an air seeder, so the power takeoff there is just blowing power in a fan. That you can see where these green tubes are. They are that's where the grass is going to be funneling down through there and then into those small little yellow tubes. It gets kind of just roughly broadcast onto the ground, and the harrows behind it come along and button it all up really. So it's nice and easy. One of my favourite types of drilling to do because it's so nice and quick. Get everything covered up very quickly. We are putting a kind of a cross of ryegrass and clover into here. It's a mixture that I go to as my kind of first choice. It just means that we get a lot of good tall grass coming in here, but we also get a lot of good clover coming in. Clover is great for nitrogen. Really does add good nutrients into the soil. It's a little bit more expensive to put this in than anything else, but it does really, the value that it returns is fantastic, particularly if you make sandwich off of here. That will look really good for you moving forward. So that is always great from a dairy farmer's perspective to have in there. And yeah, we typically will always make sure that if we'll reseed a lot of our grassland every kind of 4 years, 3-4 years, just to refresh it really. So this one though probably won't be done for a while, I would imagine, probably not even in 4 years time, but we'll just see how it continues to establish really and see where it goes from there. Quick look before we go any further. As you can see, it just kind of leaves a nice even seed bed. Everything is covered over nicely. Now what we should do is roll this afterwards as well, just to get it beaten down. I've got a set of rollers still that are left halfway down the track actually. Never went to reclaim those for the last job that we did. So we'll have to see. But go and get those pulled back up there, get this a bit of a run over. But ultimately it's coming in nice and steadily. So we'll get this all wrapped up nice and quickly. But we have to get back. We will be putting a little extra feed out for the cattle this evening, just a couple of bales there. I've noticed that they are starting to fly through the pasture that we're in at the moment. We're limited as to where we can put them because we're trying to get the first crop of silage off all the rest of the field. So we don't want to stick them into those yet. But we'll see. So, let's get this one all wrapped up and then we'll get back to the yard as quickly as possible.
Just like that. I think I did 4 or 5 passes there. Going down the hill was a lot more pleasant than going up the hill, let me tell you. But we're done and we're going to go back and we're going to test out this feeder for the day. Stick it on to the 77. Just see how it kind of performs for us all really. Make sure everything works as we expect it to. And there we go. So another job done. Tomorrow I'm going to be servicing up all of the mowers, or the mower, and all of the silage equipment, make sure it's all ready to roll. We don't have a bale wrapper, so I need to see who's around to bring in a bale wrapper or where I can acquire one from temporarily. That will be the next thing that we really want to look into. At the moment we only really bale our own silage, so it's not like it's a business opportunity there, but we do need a lot of our own silage, so look into that one. But there we go. So yeah, we'll sling this back into the shed where we got it from, and then it's about lunchtime, but I'm just going to stick a bale through this, see how it handles silage bales, and stick it into the cattle shed, see what's going on with that. There we go. Also looks like we have just negotiated ourselves a new milk contract price, which is good. It's going to bring in a little bit more stability in terms of our milk price for the foreseeable few months. I think for the next 6 months actually. So that's great news. That actually gives us a good stable price. The price of milk fluctuates quite a lot, especially in the UK here. What we need to do is, it's very difficult to budget when your main staples varies so much. So what we try to do is get a fixed price for a consistent amount of time. We like to do 6-month intervals, And then once we have that, it allows us to get that kind of a bit more of a guaranteed budget forecast, really, and we can make decisions on the business based off of that. So what we're going to do now, though, is stick this onto here. There we go, we'll get this all connected outside. Let's leave that there. But yeah, looks like a good size fit, really. Required horsepower for this feeder is around about 75, I think it is. There are some bigger feeders out there, but the bigger the feeder, the more power it takes to drive the thing. And when you're starting to look into a region of around, 150 horsepower, it's getting a bit much for what we have available here, to be honest. I don't really want to stick the John Deere on it every day. So that's another factor that we have to think of there. So, but no, for what we'll need, that's probably going to be plenty big enough. We'll jump into the Pouse, the mighty Pouse. Let's make sure we unload that properly. There we go. Alright, then, so we're going to spin around the corner here. We'll just take, use the fork today. We're just going to stick a couple of bales in. A lot of people have been asking me how I've been getting on with this loader. So far, really do like it, I must admit. It has worked wonders for me so far. It hasn't given me any problems at all. Clearing out this passageway, the alleyway, is very easy because all we have to do really is something I'm going to demonstrate here. Given the angle we're on, we can just pivot the whole load around, and it just works so easily. What I do need to do though is grab this. Alright, so once those straps are off, we just jump straight back into here, and you get great visibility no matter which way you kind of rotate this thing, and all I'm going to do is spear the bales I want. Bring them back in there. Weight is something you need to consider, but we're usually alright for that. Just like that. Alright then, so let's get ourselves forward a bit here. Now I don't use that very often, but the yard layout here we have on Meadow Grove is a little bit tight in places, so it certainly does benefit us, makes things an awful lot easier. Now what we'll do is just edge that forward. Slip in the PTO there. Slowly lift this up, drop those in, jobs are good. Now usually when it comes to feeding, when we're in full scale here and when the cattle are in the winter, it becomes a lot more of a military precise operation really, but for right now we'll just take it nice and slowly here really. We need to try and do where possible though. Much room to spin this sucker around, so change it up. That's not going to work, Frank. Let's go that way. Alright, and so we're just going to spin ourselves around here, coming from the other direction, which makes much more sense. So just like that on the hydraulics, we open up the door, because the end PTO is already engaged there. The augers kind of pull everything through. And that is it done. So we were going to leave it here. I'm going to go out and start to get everything, put some mower onto the tractor and have a bit of a look at that, make sure it's all working there. We're really not too far away from getting started on the silage, so watch this space for that one. For now though, we'll leave it here. I hope you have enjoyed. We've been doing a little bit of everything really, as seems to be the way with me during every day. So we'll leave it here. Thank you ever so much for watching. I do hope you have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Simulation for the Nation if you've yet to do so already, and we will see you in the next one. So from myself, Frank, your humble host, we'll see you later on in the week. Have yourself a great rest of your day. Enjoy what you're doing, but most importantly, happy farming.